During the time that the Allied forces were drawing nearer to the Axis powers, the Nazis, under the direction of the SS intelligence organization and in collaboration with the most knowledgeable experts, stole gold from the gold reserves of the countries that they had conquered. There were other witnesses who stated that they saw the SS leaders throw sealed boxes into Lake Toplitz. This occurred despite the fact that the German forces made every effort to conceal the looted treasure. Some people believed that these boxes contained wealth, while others were under the impression that they contained top-secret knowledge and ancient artifacts. During the Second World War, Hitler and his allies pillaged Europe for everything it was worth, including the money or artwork of nations that they had taken. With the exception of foreign currency, gold bars were not sensitive to swings in the market, which was the primary reason that Hitler was interested in them. Several countries, including Czechoslovakia, France, Belgium, Hungary, and Italy, are believed to have been victims of Hitler's thefts totaling more than $500 million, which is equivalent to more than $36 billion in its current value.
It was an astonishing haul, but not all of the gold from the Reichsbank was hidden here.
Switzerland's financial institutions in Zurich continued to collaborate with German soldiers right up until the very last few days of the war, when they were finally forced to surrender. The United States of America made an effort to foil strategies devised by Hitler and his colleagues to conceal the wealth that they had stolen. When they landed at the town of Merkers on April 4, 1945, they immediately started moving things in order to transfer buried valuables and mountain deposits. In the German town, they were successful in rescuing a vast haul that not only contained valuable artwork and foreign currencies, but also included over 8,000 gold bars with a combined value of approximately $240 million. A portion of the looted items that the German forces had obtained were able to be transported to Austria thanks to the organization of freight trains that traveled south to the Salzkammergut. After that failed, high-ranking officials such as Ernst Colton-Brunner left, leaving his gold reserves buried in the garden of his villa in Lake Toplitz for the Americans to discover. Brunner's gold reserves were discovered by the Americans. Brunner had made an effort to use the riches that he had fraudulently obtained in order to negotiate a separate settlement with the Americans. Over the course of time, this finding acquired fame in the region, with Lake Toplitz being the most sought-after destination for this wavy gold that was hidden away. Joseph Goebbels, the notorious minister of propaganda for the German forces, owned a holiday property adjacent to Lake Toplitz, which was a favorite resort for Germans during World War II. Goebbels' home was located in the vicinity of Lake Toplitz. It was believed that the lake would be the perfect place to sink the prizes that the Germans had stolen from their submarines, and it was also used for naval exercises. The legend that surrounded the lake's contents looked to be becoming stronger by the time the 1950s rolled around, and a number of amateur divers made an attempt to reach the bottom of the mysterious lake. However, when 2 German scientists drowned as a result of the hazardous environment, it became clear that successfully completing this mission would not be an easy occurrence. After being told a number of tales about the vanishing wealth, the inquisitive author Wolfgang Loy made the decision to look into the mystery surrounding Lake Toplitz. He and his crew had been scouring the lake for around 2 weeks when they came upon a box in the middle of the night. They were at the point where they were going to give up. After the package was painstakingly unwrapped by the rest of the world, millions of counterfeit 5B notes were found inside, revealing the largest counterfeiting operation in the history of the world. The Germans inundated the nation with millions of these phony notes in an effort to swing the scales in their favor, which ultimately led to the collapse of the British economy. The concept that the British would eventually be forced to bow to the authority of the Third Reich served as the foundation for this policy, which was operationally referred to as Bernhard. It was necessary for the German troops to collect every Jewish counterfeit that they could locate in their detention camps in order for this strategy to be successful. The Germans started making millions upon millions of these notes after establishing that the £5 note was the most straightforward to counterfeit. As soon as they declared them to be the most dangerous counterfeit they had ever seen, the economy of the United Kingdom began to implode. Before the Germans could move forward with their plans to bombard England with these messages, they had to first acknowledge that they were being increasingly defeated in the war. In light of the fact that it turned out to be more difficult to destroy the counterfeit notes, the SS officers took as many crates of fake currency to Lake Toplitz as they possibly could. The box was discarded by them until it was deemed secure enough for them to retrieve it. Some people, such as Ida Weisenbacher, are certain that the SS officers dropped some gold along with the counterfeit currency despite the fact that there is no substantial evidence to support their claim. People are not allowed to dive to the bottom of Lake Toplitz in Austria because of a young diver who passed away in the 1960s. The government of Austria has made this prohibition. The riddle of what exactly is located at the bottom of Lake Toplitz continues to be a mystery, but it is possible that one day we will be able to find the gold that is believed to be there one day. In addition to its function as a safe deposit box, Fort Knox, which is a symbol of the financial power and safety of the United States of America, also evokes feelings of mystery and deception. At the beginning of the 1930s, when the economy of the United States was on the verge of collapse as a result of the Great Depression, it was established. Through the process of nationalizing the nation's gold reserves, President Franklin D. Roosevelt made it illegal for individuals to become owners of gold. The extraordinary 5,000 tons of gold that the United States Treasury had accumulated by the year 1933 would prove to be an essential asset in assisting the nation in escaping the Great Depression for good. Following the acquisition of all of the gold, the government promptly boosted the official price of the gold from $20.67 to $35 per ounce, which resulted in an immediate increase in the value of the gold that it had just confiscated. The United States Treasury was able to achieve a level of financial success that had never been witnessed before because to this great plan. On the other hand, the nation's gold holdings and the authority they wielded were kept a secret, which made it possible for Fort Knox to be constructed. It was decided to choose Fort Knox as a location because of its strategic location, which is far from the shore, as well as the strict secrecy that the Army and the vault maintain. During the 1930s, there were speculations that war was going to break out in Europe. Therefore, it appeared reasonable to store the wealth of the United States in a stronghold that was located far away from any potential threat. Fort Knox was built not only to provide protection, but also to send a statement to the people who lived there. In addition to protecting the nation's gold, it would also serve as a symbol of the robustness of the United States financial system. In the process of building the vault, an incredible level of confidentiality and safety was and continues to be maintained until today. It is not accurate to say that Fort Knox is merely a shining metal edifice that is hidden behind a fortification. Considering that it is a symbol of both power and mystery, the United States government has taken considerable precautions to ensure that its contents are kept secure. At the United States military base in Kentucky, known as Fort Knox, there has never been a comprehensive audit conducted. After the most recent formal audit, which was conducted in 1953, it has been more than 7 decades since that time. Due to the fact that the United States government has refused to allow an impartial inspection, there are suspicions over the contents of the vault, as well as the reasons for its secrecy. It is possible that the vault is home to national secrets, preparations for future battles, secret government records, a treasure, or even a mysterious book that some people believe holds the true history of the United States of America. Some experts believe that the United States government is intentionally keeping the price of gold at a high level for financial reasons. This is due to the fact that the value of the dollar is decided by the price of gold. In the event that everyone found out the true value of the gold in Fort Knox, the entire financial system might collapse. It is probable that the secrecy that surrounds Fort Knox is more about maintaining financial stability than it is about ensuring the safety of the physical location. In light of the fact that early inhabitants and pirates of the area used the cave surrounding Fort Knox to conceal valuables like as gold, silver, and other items, it is possible that the location has an even more ancient link. There is a school of thought that holds that Jonathan Swift, a mysterious figure who had a role in the early history of the United States, was the one who purposely built Fort Knox on land that had previously been used to conceal wealth. The idea that gold is the most effective medium of trade is not only a conviction, rather, it is a well-guarded secret about gold. When compared to paper money, gold coins continue to be substantially more prevalent in survival kits that are utilized by the military all around the world. But if the gold at Fort Knox is just the nation's treasure, then why is there so much secrecy around it? It has been speculated for a long time that the gold that is kept at Fort Knox might not be as genuine as it appears to be. According to the official statistics of the Treasury Department, Fort Knox has the greatest gold reserve in the world, specifically holding 47.3 million troy ounces of gold. The lack of openness, on the other hand, results in the creation of additional questions rather than answers. Due to the fact that there is a level of secrecy that goes beyond security and encompasses control over the country's wealth, economy, and history itself, The absence of audits and public inspections generates more questions than it does answers. At the end of the day, the question remains, would Fort Knox really be considered a gold mine? If so, what impedes the conduct of audits? How much would it actually take to reveal the shocking truth about the most secure facility in the United States? And what other things might be hidden inside the vault?